Yo, what up? What's poppin'? Back at it again with another video for y'all, and I was just wanting to chat with y'all. You know what I mean? In this video, it'll kind of be like a little bit of like a short. Well, I would say like kind of like like a documentary version, YouTube version of this former CEO. Unfortunately, he's currently like incarcerated in prison right now for a hit and run incident that had happened that had went down back in 2015 when they was filming the NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton. But anyway, I was wanting to do this video with y'all. I was wanting to talk with y'all about Suge Knight. Suge Knight, the world's biggest hip hop villain. Yeah, I mean, Suge Knight. I mean, with what he created with Death Row Records, Suge Knight is a legend with what he created with the Death Row Records. But you see, even though he built an empire and even though he did create like a legacy, Death Row Records ended up going downhill because of the fact that he got into a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? Because when Snoop Dogg had first signed to No Limit with Master P, Suge Knight was in prison. He was locked up. He was incarcerated. And that's the thing. Master P, he had to meet up with Suge Knight while Suge Knight was locked up so they could be able to work out a good deal for Snoop Dogg. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Suge Knight is like the world's biggest hip hop villain. You know, the dude, it's like he's one of those people that's been in and that's been out of prison. You know what I mean? But he did leave a legacy. I mean, when it comes down to Death Row Records, Suge Knight is a legend for that. You know what I mean? Because even when it comes to Death Row Records, there's Death Row merchandise. I have a Death Row Records t-shirt. I mean, Suge Knight, for him to sign Snoop Dogg, for him to sign the Dog Pound, Nate Dogg, Corrupt, Daz Dillinger, Tupac, yeah, like for him, Dr. Dre and the DOC coming together to form Death Row Records. But that's the thing. At the time, Dr. Dre was like the co-founder of Death Row and the DOC. But you see, when Dr. Dre ended up leaving Death Row, all of the stuff had went over to Suge Knight. Dr. Dre ended up leaving Death Row and he ended up forming his own label, Aftermath Entertainment. You know what I mean? And yeah, but you see, Tupac had stayed signed to Death Row until he had passed away because Suge Knight ended up letting Tupac form his own label, Death Row East. But yeah, Suge Knight is like the world's biggest hip hop villain. He's the world's biggest hip hop villain. I mean, the stuff that had went down when he was like the CEO of Death Row Records, you know what I mean? There was like some stuff going down. There was really some stuff going on. And you know, I mean, Dr. Dre, he ended up getting out of that stuff. He ended up not wanting to be a part of that stuff anymore. But yo, Suge Knight, the world's biggest hip hop villain. And that's another thing about it too. Like, I don't even think Suge Knight even played any instruments. I don't even think Suge Knight even rapped. You know what I mean? Like, but he did have like a legacy because, like I said, like Suge Knight, before he became a CEO and like a businessman in the music industry, he wanted to be a football player. You know what I mean? Yeah, because like I said, I think he attended a tryout for the Los Angeles Rams, but yeah, I mean, other than that, and that's another thing too. Like Suge Knight, he currently like facing a life sentence in prison currently right now. Like he's never gonna get out of there for that hit and run incident that had went down when they was filming the NWA biopic Straight Outta Compton. But yeah, Death Row Records is a legendary record label But Suge Knight is like the world's biggest hip hop villain. Yo, he's the world's biggest hip hop villain, and that's the thing about it too. If Suge Knight would have discovered Eminem first, Eminem probably would have signed to Death Row, because that's the thing. Like Suge Knight, like there's a story where they were saying that Suge Knight has sent goons to try to get Eminem. And you see, it seems to me Suge Knight was just jealous of the success that Dr. Dre was having with his label Aftermath Entertainment. You know what I mean? Suge Knight was jealous of that. He didn't like that. So, but yo, he's the world's biggest hip hop villain. I just wanted to share this video with y'all, chat with y'all. Just wanted to give y'all some more hip hop content. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on my channel, comment, share, like the video. Love y'all.